Let's start. Reading Power, 2017, Day 9. Number 1. A type of fossil that can be found in sedimentary rocks is a trace fossil. As sediment forms, something is pressed into it, leaving an impression. Think about how small children make handprints in clay as a present for their parents. The clay hardens, leaving a permanent record of a tiny hand. In the same way, something that disturbs sediment can leave an impression that later dries and hardens. As other layers fill the impression, they do not destroy the trace and it becomes a permanent feature that remains as the rock forms. Trace fossils can include an impression of soft tissue, skin, and even the footprints of ancient animals. Reading Power, 2017, Day 9. Number 2. Much of the listening you engage in during class or at work is informational listening, or listening to learn. Whenever you watch the news or listen to driving directions or pay attention to a professor's lecture, you're engaged in informational listening. Informational listening is both very common and extremely helpful. Indeed, it is one of the most important ways we learn. It is also the most passive type of listening. When we're engaged in informational listening, we are simply taking in information. Even though we may be listening effectively and even taking notes, we are listening primarily to learn something new rather than to criticize or support the speaker's information. Reading Power, 2017, Day 9. Number 3. The medieval period was a great age of bridge building. Medieval people built hundreds of impressive timber and stone bridges, some of which are still in use today. They believed that bridges were pleasing in God's sight because they helped travelers to cross dangerous and difficult places. Medieval people wanted their bridges to be protected by saints, and a chapel to a bridge's patron saint was often built on or near the bridge. Building and caring for bridges were considered an act of religious merit. In fact, the Church granted privileges to those who donated their labor or money for the construction of bridges. Reading Power, 2017, Day 9. Number 4. Many of us don't have the resources or abilities to generate the creative ideas we need. This is especially true in the business world with its complex, ever-changing environments. Competitive pressures require faster delivery of new products and services. In short, businesses are pushed to innovate before the competition does. Failure to do so can yield even fewer creative responses, and less financial profit. However, the need to innovate is not limited to the corporate world. Service, government, and non-profit organizations also can experience similar pressures to cope with changes in markets served or the regulations imposed on them. The end. Good job.